Maya's hands trembled as she stared at the emergency contact form. The pen hovered over the paper, ink bleeding into a small dot where she'd frozen mid-signature. Around her, the hospital waiting room buzzed with activity, nurses calling names, children crying. But all she could hear was the thundering of her own heartbeat. Spouse's name, Alex Chun. The words glared back at her from the insurance documents spread across her lap. 6 months pregnant, sitting in a hospital waiting room because of some routine scare that turned out to be nothing, and this was how she found out. 2 years. It had been 2 years since that insane night in Vegas, and apparently, she was still married. Mrs. Chun. A nurse appeared in the doorway. We need those forms. Maya's stomach lurched. Not from morning sickness this time. She grabbed her phone with shaking fingers, scrolling through her contacts until she found his number. They barely spoke anymore, just the occasional awkward nod across the office. Her thumb hovered over the call button. No, this conversation needed to happen in person. The next morning, Maya marched through the office with a determination that made her coworkers step aside. Her fitted maternity dress did nothing to hide her condition, and she'd stopped caring about the whispers weeks ago. Single mom by choice. That's what she'd told everyone. The truth was so much more complicated. Alex sat at his desk, feet propped up, laughing at something on his phone. He looked exactly like he did in Vegas. Dark hair perpetually messy, that infuriating smile that had made her say yes to tequila shots in the first place. He glanced up as her shadow fell across his desk. Maya, hey, how's the little one? Break room. Now. She didn't wait for his response. Alex followed, confusion written all over his face. The break room was mercifully empty, the morning coffee rush over. Maya shut the door and locked it, watching his eyebrows shoot up. Okay, this is either really good or really bad, he said, attempting a smile. We're still married. The smile vanished. What? Married? You and me. Vegas. 2 years ago. We never actually annulled it, Alex. He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit she'd noticed during their 3 months of awkward post-Vegas interactions before they'd mutually agreed to never speak of it again. That's okay. That's fine. We just file the papers now, right? No big deal. There's a bigger deal. Maya pulled out her phone, showing him the insurance documents. Because I'm pregnant and we're legally married, you're listed as the father. On everything. Insurance, medical records, emergency contacts. The hospital called you my husband yesterday. The color drained from Alex's face. He sat down heavily in one of the plastic chairs. But you did IVF. You told everyone you were doing this alone. I am doing this alone. Or I was supposed to be. Maya's voice cracked slightly. She'd worked so hard to build this life, to make peace with doing it solo. But legally, you're the father. And if we annul now, it becomes this whole complicated mess with the birth certificate and insurance coverage and... Okay, let's just think about this. Alex stood, pacing the small room. What did your lawyer say? I have a call scheduled with her this afternoon. I wanted to tell you first. The door handle jiggled. Jennifer from accounting peered through the small window, her eyes widening when she saw them together. Maya waved her away irritably. We need to figure this out before the whole office starts talking, Maya said. Too late for that, Alex muttered. Jennifer's probably texting everyone right now. For hours later, they sat in Maya's apartment, her laptop open between them on the coffee table. Her lawyer's face filled the screen, expression sympathetic but professional. So here's the situation, Attorney Rodriguez said. Annulling now is possible, but it creates complications. The baby's birth certificate, insurance claims, potential custody questions, even though there's no biological relation. Everything gets messy. And if we stay married? Maya asked, though she could barely believe she was saying the words. You wait until after the birth. File for divorce instead of annulment. It's cleaner paperwork-wise, and the baby's legal status is straightforward from the start. You'd be looking at 6, maybe 7 months of maintaining the marriage. Alex made a strangled sound. Maya shot him a look. I know it's not ideal, Rodriguez continued, but it's the path of least resistance. You two don't have to live together or anything. Just stay legally married on paper until the baby comes and things settle. After the call ended, silence filled Maya's apartment. Alex stared at his hands. Maya stared at her growing belly. 7 months, he finally said. We can do 7 months. We barely have to interact. Right? We just, I don't know, coordinate our stories if anyone asks. Nobody's going to ask. We'll just be quiet about it." A sharp knock on the door made them both jump. Maya opened it to find Jennifer standing there, holding a casserole dish and wearing her brightest smile. "I heard the news." "Well, everyone heard the news. The whole office is talking about it." Jennifer pushed past Maya into the apartment. "You two have been secretly married this whole time? That's so romantic. And now a baby." Maya and Alex exchanged panicked looks. "It's not exactly," Maya started. "We were keeping it private," Alex interrupted smoothly, standing up. "It's complicated." "Complicated how?" "You're married and having a baby. Seems pretty straightforward to me." Jennifer set the casserole on the kitchen counter. "Anyway, I wanted to be the first to congratulate you properly. This is so exciting." After Jennifer finally left, promising to organize an office baby shower, Maya locked the door and turned to Alex. 7 months, she repeated, but this time it sounded like a prison sentence. 7 months, he agreed, looking equally trapped. Neither of them could have predicted how quickly everything would spiral from there. The office had transformed overnight into a gauntlet of congratulations and knowing smiles. Maya arrived early the next morning, hoping to avoid the worst of it, but found a banner stretched across her cubicle. "Congratulations, Maya and Alex," with little baby bottles drawn in marker. "Kill me now," she muttered, tearing it down. "Make that both of us." Alex appeared beside her, holding 2 coffee cups. He handed her the decaf. "I've already fielded 6 questions about why we kept it secret and 4 about whether we're moving in together." "What did you tell them?" "That we value our privacy." That seemed to confuse them more. Their boss, Patricia, emerged from her office with a wide smile. There they are, the happy couple. "Alex, Maya, my office, please." They followed her like students called to the principal, exchanging nervous glances. Patricia shut the door behind them and gestured to the chairs. "First, congratulations. Second, why did I have to hear about this from Jennifer and not from my own employees?" Patricia leaned against her desk, arms crossed, but not unkindly. "It's complicated," Maya said. "It's always complicated. But you're both valuable members of this team, and I want to make sure you have the support you need. Parental leave, flexible schedules, whatever you need to make this work." Alex shifted uncomfortably. "That's really generous, but..." "No buts. You're family now. My door is always open." Patricia's phone buzzed. "Now get out of here. And Maya, enjoy your baby shower next week." Jennifer's very excited about it. In the hallway, Alex grabbed Maya's arm. "We need to talk. Really talk. This is getting out of hand. Your place or mine?" "Yours. You have the comfortable couch." That evening, Maya's apartment became their war room. Alex brought takeout. Maya provided the stress, and together they tried to navigate the impossible situation they'd created. "We need ground rules," Maya said, picking at her pad thai. "Boundaries." Agreed. Rule 1. We don't have to pretend to be in love. We're just married on paper. Rule 2. No lying to my family if they find out. I can't deal with that. Alex winced. "Speaking of family, have you told your mom?" "Absolutely not. She'll plan a wedding reception and start buying matching Christmas sweaters." Too late. Alex showed her his phone. "Jennifer tagged us both on Facebook. In a post. About the baby. Your mom commented 6 times. Maya grabbed the phone, her face going pale as she scrolled through the comments. "She wants us to come to Sunday dinner. This Sunday. We don't have to. She's my mother, Alex. If I say no, she'll show up here with my entire family. You don't know her. So we go to one dinner. We can handle one dinner." Maya looked at him, really looked at him for the first time since Vegas. He'd loosened his tie, rolled up his sleeves, and there was genuine concern in his eyes. When had he started caring? "One dinner," she agreed. "But you're bringing dessert." Sunday arrived too quickly. Alex stood on the porch of Maya's childhood home, holding an expensive bakery box and questioning every life choice that had led to this moment. The door flew open before he could knock. "You must be Alex." A tiny woman with Maya's eyes pulled him into a crushing hug. "I'm Rosa, Maya's mom. Come in, come in. Everyone's been dying to meet you." Everyone turned out to be Maya's parents, 3 sisters, 2 brothers-in-law, and 4 nieces and nephews who immediately swarmed around Maya's belly, asking if they could feel the baby kick. "So, Alex, Maya's father, Jorge, said once they'd settled around the massive dining table. Maya says you work together?" "Yes, sir. Sales department." "And how long have you two been married exactly?" Maya's hand found his under the table, squeezing hard. 2 years, Dad. We eloped in Vegas. A chorus of gasps and excited chatter erupted. Maya's sisters demanded to know why they weren't invited, why there were no photos, why Maya had kept such a huge secret. We wanted something private, Maya said, her rehearsed answer smooth. Just for us. Her youngest sister, Carmen, leaned forward with a grin. But now you're having a baby. That's so romantic. Did you plan it? Alex choked on his water. Maya's hand squeezed harder, probably leaving bruises. The baby was a surprise, Maya said carefully. A good surprise. Throughout dinner, Alex found himself pulled into conversations about fatherhood, about Maya's childhood, about family traditions he'd supposedly be part of now. Rosa insisted on showing him Maya's baby pictures. Jorge cornered him in the kitchen to give him advice about midnight feedings. It was overwhelming and warm, and everything his own fragmented family had never been. After dinner, Maya's niece Sophia, age 5, climbed into Alex's lap without warning. Can I feel the baby? She asked Maya. Sure, Mija. Sophia grabbed Alex's hand and placed it on Maya's belly alongside her small palm. You have to wait, she whispered seriously. Sometimes the baby is sleeping. They waited. Alex became acutely aware of the warmth of Maya's skin through the thin fabric of her dress, of how close they were sitting, of the entire family watching them with sappy smiles. Then it happened. A distinct flutter against his palm, followed by what felt like a tiny kick. He's awake. Sophia squealed. Did you feel it, Tio Alex? Alex couldn't speak. He'd expected nothing, felt everything. The baby, this tiny person he had no biological connection to, was real in a way that statistics and ultrasound photos had never made real. He looked up at Maya and found her watching him with an expression he couldn't quite read. Something soft, something vulnerable. Yeah, he managed. I felt it. The drive back to Maya's apartment was quiet. She stared out the window while Alex navigated the familiar streets, both of them processing the evening. Your family is amazing, he said finally. They liked you. Sophia called me Tio. She calls everyone Tio. Don't let it go to your head. But there was no bite to her words. At her door, they stood in the hallway, neither quite ready to say goodbye. Thank you for coming, Maya said. I know it was a lot. It was good. Really good, actually. Alex rubbed the back of his neck. Maya, when the baby kicked, don't. She held up a hand. Whatever you're about to say, don't. This is temporary, remember? Just 7 months. Right? 7 months. But as he drove home, Alex couldn't stop thinking about that kick, about Sophia's small hand guiding his, about the way Maya's family had welcomed him like he belonged. 7 months suddenly felt both too long and not nearly enough. 3 weeks passed in a strange new normal. The office had settled into treating them like any other couple, which meant constant questions about nursery colors and parenting philosophies they hadn't discussed. Maya fielded inquiries about their living situation with practiced vagueness. Alex found himself researching car seats at 2 in the morning for reasons he couldn't explain. They'd fallen into an unexpected routine. Coffee runs on Tuesday mornings. Lunch together on Thursdays to maintain appearances. Brief text exchanges about their coordinated story that somehow evolved into actual conversations. Did you know babies can't see clearly until they're like 3 months old? Alex texted at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. Did you know I'm trying to sleep? Maya responded. Sorry, just reading some articles. About babies? Maybe. Go to bed, Alex. But she sent him a link to her favorite pregnancy app, and he downloaded it immediately. Friday afternoon, Maya's phone rang. Her doctor's office. Hi, this is Maya. Alex watched her face shift from calm to concerned, watched her hand drift protectively to her belly. Yes, I can come in Monday. 9 a.m. works. Should I be worried? Okay, thank you. She hung up, staring at nothing. What's wrong? Alex was at her cubicle before he'd consciously decided to move. They want to do another ultrasound. Some measurements were slightly off. It's probably nothing, but her voice wavered. I'm coming with you. Alex, you don't have to. I'm coming. What time Monday? Maya looked up at him, eyes glassy with unshed tears. 9 a.m. I'll pick you up at 8:30. Monday morning, Alex arrived at Maya's apartment with coffee and bagels she couldn't eat because her stomach was in knots. They drove to the hospital in silence, his hand finding hers in the parking lot. It's going to be fine, he said with more confidence than he felt. You don't know that. No, but I know you're strong. And I'm here. The ultrasound room was cold and clinical. Maya lay on the exam table while the technician squirted gel on her exposed belly. Alex stood beside her, holding her hand probably too tight. "Let's take a look," the technician said cheerfully, moving the wand across Maya's skin. The screen filled with grainy black and white images that meant nothing to Alex, but everything to Maya. He watched her face instead, saw the tension, the fear, the love already so evident for this tiny person neither of them had planned. "Everything looks perfect," the technician announced. "See this? Strong heartbeat. Good size. All the measurements are right where they should be." Maya burst into tears. "Happy tears?" Alex asked, panicking slightly. "Very happy tears," the technician confirmed, handing Maya tissues. "Do you want to know the sex?" the technician asked. Maya looked at Alex. He looked back, suddenly aware this was a decision they should make together even though nothing about this situation was together. "Do you want to know?" Maya asked him. "Do you?" "I asked first. It's your baby." "It's..." She stopped, the words "our baby" dying on her lips because that wasn't true, wasn't real. "Yes. I want to know." The technician smiled and pointed to the screen. "Congratulations. You're having a girl." In the parking lot afterward, they sat in Alex's car without starting the engine. Maya clutched the ultrasound photos in her lap. "A girl," she whispered. "A girl," Alex repeated, and something in his chest cracked open. "I need to start thinking about names." "Eleanor," Alex said suddenly. "It means bright, shining one." Maya turned to stare at him. "You've been thinking about names?" He flushed. "I might have made a list, just in case you wanted suggestions, which you probably don't." "Forget I said anything." "Eleanor." Maya tested the name, then smiled. "Ellie for short. I like it." Yeah. She looked down at the photos again. "Alex, this is getting complicated." "I know. We're supposed to be keeping this simple. Temporary. But you're picking me up for appointments and suggesting names, and I held her through your skin and felt her move, and she's real, Maya. I know she's not mine biologically, but..." He stopped, running his hands through his hair in frustration. "I don't know what I'm saying." "You're saying you care." "I'm saying I'm terrified because I'm not supposed to care this much." Maya reached over and took his hand. "Me too." They sat like that for a long moment, hands intertwined, the weight of everything unsaid pressing down on them. "We still have 4 months, Maya finally said. "We don't have to figure everything out right now." "For months," Alex agreed. But as he drove her home, he knew 4 months wasn't enough time to untangle what was happening between them. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the ultrasound, about Maya's tears, about the tiny girl who would be here in 4 months. His phone buzzed. "Can't sleep either?" Maya's text read. "Too much on my mind. Want to help me assemble the crib? I've been putting it off. It's 11 p.m. And 30 minutes later, Alex stood in Maya's spare bedroom surrounded by crib parts and incomprehensible instructions. Maya sat on the floor, sorting screws, wearing pajamas covered in tiny moons. "This is insane," he muttered, trying to fit part A into slot B with no success. "Welcome to parenting. Everything is insane. We're not parenting. We're assembling furniture. Right? Sorry. I forgot the rules." There was an edge to her voice that made Alex look up. "Maya, no, you're right. We have our boundaries. Our 7-month plan. This doesn't mean anything." "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to." They worked in tense silence until Alex finally threw down the screwdriver. "Okay, what's really going on here?" "What do you mean?" "I mean you've been weird since the appointment. Actually, you've been weird for weeks." Maya stood up, pacing the small room. "You want to know what's going on? I'm pregnant and alone. Except I'm not alone because my accidental husband keeps showing up and being perfect and caring about my baby, and I don't know how to handle it." "Your baby? I thought we were in this together." "We're not in anything together, Alex. That's the whole point. This is temporary. You get to walk away in 4 months." "What if I don't want to walk away?" The words hung in the air between them. Maya froze, her eyes wide. "What?" Alex stood, closing the distance between them. "What if I don't want to walk away, Maya? What if I want to be here for the midnight feedings and the terrible twos and teaching her to ride a bike?" "You don't mean that. You're just..." What? Confused? Scared? Yeah, I'm both of those things. But I'm also sure about this. About you. About Ellie. We barely know each other. We've been married for 2 years. On paper. Then let's make it real." Maya stepped back, shaking her head. No, You're just feeling emotional because of the ultrasound. Tomorrow you'll wake up and remember you never wanted this." Alex left that night without another word, and Maya told herself it was better this way. Cleaner. Simpler. She ignored the way her chest ached as she heard his car pull away. The next 2 weeks were torture. They avoided each other at the office, communicating only through terse emails when necessary. Maya threw herself into work and nursery planning. Alex showed up to meetings looking like he hadn't slept. Their coworkers noticed the tension, but mercifully said nothing. Jennifer, however, was not known for her tact. "Trouble in paradise?" she asked, cornering Maya by the coffee machine. "We're fine. You haven't spoken in 2 weeks. Everyone's noticed. We're just busy." Uh-huh. Jennifer studied her with the intensity of someone who lived for office drama. "You know, the baby shower is this Friday. You two should probably figure out your issues before then." Maya had forgotten about the baby shower. Of course she had. Friday arrived with the inevitability of a tidal wave. The conference room had been transformed with pink decorations, a banner proclaiming, "It's a girl," in glittery letters, and enough gifts to stock a small store. Maya plastered on a smile and accepted congratulations from coworkers who knew nothing about the mess behind the scenes. She opened presents, tiny clothes, stuffed animals, books about parenting, and tried not to think about Alex's absence. He was supposed to be here. They'd agreed weeks ago he'd come, but his desk had been empty all morning. Speech. Speech, someone called out as Maya opened the last gift. She stood reluctantly, surveying the room full of expectant faces. "Thank you all so much. This is incredibly generous," and the door opened. Alex stood there, slightly breathless, holding an enormous wrapped package. The room went silent. "Sorry I'm late," he said, eyes locked on Maya. "Traffic was a nightmare." "Alex." Her voice came out barely above a whisper. He walked through the parted crowd, setting the package on the table in front of her. "Open it." "Alex, I can't." "Please." With shaking hands, Maya tore the paper. Inside was a rocking chair, hand-carved wood with delicate details along the arms. Attached was a note in Alex's handwriting, "For all the late-night stories and lullabies. Love, Alex." "I had it custom-made," he said softly. The guy rushed the order when I explained the situation. "What situation?" Maya asked, aware of everyone watching. "That I'm an idiot who spent 2 weeks running from the best thing that ever happened to him." "Alex, let me finish." He took her hands, ignoring their audience completely. "I know this started as an accident. I know we had a plan and boundaries and all these rules. But somewhere between assembling cribs and feeling Ellie kick and watching you cry at ultrasounds, I fell in love with you, Maya. And I fell in love with our daughter. She's not. She is. Not biologically, but in every way that matters. And if you'll let me, I want to be her father. I want to be your husband. For real this time." Maya felt tears streaming down her face. "You don't know what you're saying. Babies are hard. Marriage is hard. We barely survived 2 years of pretending. So let's stop pretending." Alex wiped her tears with his thumb. "Let's figure it out together. Messy and complicated and real. What if you change your mind?" "I won't. What if I'm terrible at this?" "Then we'll be terrible together." He smiled, that same smile that had made her say yes to tequila shots in Vegas. "Marry me, Maya." Again. But this time, let's mean it. The conference room erupted in cheers before Maya could respond. Someone popped champagne. Jennifer was openly crying. Patricia stood in the doorway with her arms crossed, smiling knowingly. Maya looked at Alex, really looked at him. Saw the fear and hope and love written across his face. Thought about the past months, about every moment that had led them here. About the future they could have if she was brave enough to reach for it. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay. Yes. Yes, let's do this for real." Alex kissed her then, and the office exploded with applause. Maya kissed him back, tasting salt from both their tears, feeling their daughter flutter between them like approval. Later, after the party wound down and the gifts were loaded into Alex's car, they stood in the parking lot watching the sun set. "So what now?" Maya asked. "Now we go home and panic about what we just agreed to." "Your place or mine?" "Ours," Alex said. "We should probably start looking for a place. Somewhere with room for Ellie." "You're really doing this." "We're really doing this." He pulled her close, one hand resting on her belly. "All 3 of us." 6 months later, Maya stood in a simple dress in her parents' backyard, surrounded by family and friends who'd watched their impossible love story unfold. Alex stood across from her in a suit, holding 3-month-old Ellie in his arms. "Do you take this man," the officiant asked, "to be your lawfully wedded husband?" Maya looked at Alex, at Ellie sleeping peacefully against his shoulder, at the life they'd built from chaos and accident and unexpected grace. "I do," she said. Again. When they kissed, Ellie woke up and let out a small cry. Alex laughed and rocked her gently while Maya stroked her daughter's soft hair. "Family photo," someone called. They posed together, the three of them, while cameras clicked. Maya caught Alex's eye over Ellie's head. "Worth it?" she asked. "Every single complication," he confirmed. As the reception started and music filled the evening air, Maya danced with her husband, her real husband this time, while Ellie dozed in Rose's arms nearby. The same coworkers who'd watched their awkward beginning now celebrated their intentional forever. Jennifer approached with tears in her eyes. "I knew it from the start. You two were meant to be." "Sure you did," Maya laughed. "Okay, I suspected. After the break room conversation, which I definitely wasn't eavesdropping on." "Of course not," Alex said diplomatically. Later, after everyone had gone home, and they'd put Ellie down in her crib, the one they'd finally assembled correctly on the third try, Maya and Alex collapsed on the couch in their new apartment. "Married?" Maya said wonderingly. "For real this time?" "Terrified. Completely." "Me too." Alex pulled her close. "But we'll figure it out." Together, Maya agreed. Through the baby monitor, they heard Ellie make soft sleeping sounds. Alex squeezed Maya's hand, and she squeezed back. They'd started with a drunken mistake in Vegas, stumbled through months of pretending, and somehow found their way to this. Real love, real commitment, real family. It wasn't the story Maya had planned when she'd chosen IVF. It wasn't the life Alex had imagined when he'd avoided commitment for years. It was better. "Hey," Alex said softly. "I love you." "I love you too," Maya whispered back. "Both of you." From the nursery, Ellie let out a cry. They looked at each other and laughed. "Ready for midnight feeding number 1000? Maya asked. "After you, Mrs. Chun." "That's Mrs. Chun Rodriguez to you." "We hyphenated, remember?" "How could I forget? You made me practice signing it 50 times. They walked hand in hand toward the nursery, toward their daughter, toward the beautiful chaos of their unexpected forever. Behind them on the coffee table, their marriage certificate sat in a frame, signed, sealed, and this time, completely real. If you enjoyed Maya and Alex's journey from accidental marriage to intentional love, hit that subscribe button for more heartwarming stories. Drop a comment below telling us what you thought about their unconventional path to family, and don't forget to like this video. What would you have done in Maya's situation? Let us know. New stories every week. See you in the next one.